Welcome to the Step by Step podcast by Hidden Strength. We really hope you enjoy this episode.
Hello, I'm Sophia and this is my Hidden Strength. If you find any of the content upsetting, then there are resources and links below.
Sophia, welcome to the pod.
Hello.
How are we?
I'm right, thank you. How are you?
I'm not bad. I'm so excited you're here. First time in Cardiff?
Yeah, it is. We got here yesterday.
Thoughts?
Yeah. Lots of Gregs. Has, doesn't it?
I'm not really a Greg's fan. Like, I appreciate the power of a sausage roll, but anything past that, I'm like, oh, I've not really...
It's in about 6. Yeah. Get your tally charts out.
Put the polls in, let's go. Just want to thank you so much. I feel like this is such a unique pairing because we've technically known each other for a lot longer than actually this kind of engagement. Yeah. But how do you see this pod starting? Is there anything that you really want to focus on, talk about?
I think maybe give an introduction to myself and then see where it takes us.
Please do. Tell the people who you are.
So, hello, I'm Sophia. I'm 21. I'm from Kent by the seaside. I'm currently studying to be a doctor. I'm in my 3rd year at uni. I play rugby. I run. And obviously I'm doing the Cardiff half for you guys in October. And then that's all superficial stuff. And then I got diagnosed with autism when I was 12. And then the past year and a half, I've been on like this mental health recovery journey. So yeah, I think that's me summarised.
Very hard though.
Yeah.
How do you sum you up in 30 seconds? I think that's an insult. But as the podcast is called Step by Step, we are literally going to go through this layer by layer, step by step. Firstly, where'd you go to uni?
I go to uni in Essex in Chelmsford.
Shout out, love that.
Yeah. I was playing rugby for the local team.
Let's go.
For Chelmsford Rugby Club.
As a fellow,
shout out.
As a fellow rugby girly, give the props where the props are due.
Yeah.
No pun intended, especially because you're not a prop.
Yeah, no. Are you a prop?
Second row.
Oh, okay, sorry.
So, diagnosed with autism at 12, that's incredibly impressive given
I'm a girl.
you're a girl.
Yeah.
But also how little there is out there in correlating autism and girls together.
Yeah, and I think I got diagnosed when I was 12, so I just started secondary school. And I think I got diagnosed so early because it was affecting other people rather than actually like, anything internal. I don't think I really felt any different to anyone else.
Yeah.
But I think because if I was annoyed at somebody, it would like affect my behaviour and I'd like hit out or something because it was affecting other people. I think it got picked up rather than because I felt, something inside of me is different.
Yeah. So growing up, you just felt like you were you. There was no difference in that. But then was it more kind of spending time with other people, connecting with others?
I think it's like the change from primary school to secondary school. Like primary school, it was in a small school, small class. Everyone sort of knew everyone. So it was just me being me.
Yeah.
And then you go up to secondary school. Obviously, you're in like 4 classes. Like we were just in girls, like 4 classes a year. And then everything's a bit different. It's a big change, and I think it just like made it more obvious.
I mean, the transition from primary to secondary school, not enough people talk about it anyway. But then how did that come about? Did someone pick up on it at school? Was it something at home where you were kind of asked about the idea of autism? Did you know what it was?
I think it got picked up in school because you can't go around hitting people when you're 12 years old if they've annoyed you.
No, please don't.
Yeah.
PSA, that'd
and
be
I
great.
think like, when you're in primary school, it gets, you're just a child.
Yeah.
But then when you're 12 years old and someone's annoyed you because they've stolen your ruler and you hit them, that's like not acceptable. And I think I needed that diagnosis, otherwise I probably would have been excluded.
So how was the idea of going through that diagnostic process so young as well?
I mean, I think I lived in my own little world. I didn't really realise. And like, all I really remember, because I was aged nearly 10 years ago, I sort of like reading through this book about flying frogs, and like people know what I'm talking about with this, or like having to brush your teeth, like people who've gone through a diagnosis of autism will know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And it was sort of like talking to some people in a room, and then they sit down and they're like, oh yeah, you've got autism, get on with your life. And like nothing was really put into place. I was lucky I had a really good school and we already had a really good like support system. But yeah, it's not like you get given a handbook. You just get on with it.
So you didn't get like an emotional support human to kind of guide you through next steps and what that meant?
I got a dog, actually. I got a dog a couple of months after. So maybe he was my emotional support human. Dog.
I mean, from someone who has a dog, I get it. Absolutely. But that's baffling how you've gone from such a young age, the idea of hitting people was it when you just didn't get your own way as such?
I think it was just like that anger of it. And I think maybe that's why I think I presented more like how boys present, like more behaviourally rather than internally. So yeah, I think most people annoyed me. I was just like a way to get this feeling inside me out just by hitting them.
Yeah.
And also, rather, because I think I struggle with communication, I couldn't tell them, oh, you're annoying me. I just like hit them and obviously that makes them go away.
Yeah.
Obviously, don't do that anymore.
Just want to make that clear.
Yeah.
Like I've evolved, that's not it.
Yeah.
But like stereotypically and generalising girls with neurodiversity, there are so many other middle labels that you get kind of posed with additional personality traits or like, they just are quite boisterous or they're quite reserved and they do the whole masking thing or they just kind of get on with things. Whereas from what you're saying, it sounds like you fitted into the more boisterous boy generalisation of neurodivergence. How do you, at someone so young, have that as a label moving forward? Was it something that you felt was a part of you or was it just more of a, I've not processed this, but this now means this?
Yeah, I think the second option. I don't really anything changed inside of me.
Yeah.
And I think really until, I think like sixth form, I actually realised that like me being autistic made me different to other people.
Yeah.
I just saw it as another characteristic, the same as somebody might have red hair.
Yeah.
But I've got autism. And I think because I was in the same class, everyone knew me, similar to primary school, actually, like it wasn't that big of a deal.
Yeah. So then when you met people for the first time or kind of through that school period, how did that autism present and like manifest itself?
I think when I meet like new people, so like when I come to uni or when I started sixth form, because we had like different people come for our sixth form.
Yeah.
I think that's when it presents more. And like, I obviously don't realise because everybody else knows me. But I think like, as I've got older, how it presents changed. Like it's very much like more internal. And I think like I'm good at communicating, but I think it's a lot of it's learned.
Yeah. From others or just trial and error with kind of the social situations you've been in?
I think just from like observing and like being very conscious, like when you talk, you need to make eye contact or like, not sound like very monotone.
It's a lot of pressure to put on yourself though, to look at other situations and surroundings and almost put yourself in that box.
I think it's like so learned. I think like lots of like girls can relate. Like it's so learned. I think even from a young age, before even realising anything was like different about me.
Yeah.
You just like realise, oh, everyone else is like doing this or doing that or talking about this. And yeah, I felt maybe like, oh, I don't know why everyone's talking about this. Like it's boring.
Yeah.
Like you just sort of like go along with it and copy. And then I think it definitely is masking. But I think that's so ingrained. It's not like I can just be like, okay, I'm not going to mask today.
So rather than kind of the traditional masking, which is you put up this armour, your mask was almost, how can I be a bit of a chameleon in that sense and like blend in with others? But you've mentioned kind of the idea of being different, and especially as you get older, you've noticed those differences a bit more. Can you talk a bit more about that?
I think almost like, I couldn't like write down what the differences is. It's just that like when you meet new people, it's like everybody else sort of knows what to talk about or like all neurotypicals have been given this handbook about how to communicate in life and like people who neurodivergent just haven't.
Yeah.
Or like misreading social situations or like having like issues with people. I think I've got a really strong sense of justice. And if somebody's done something wrong, I'd want to be like what you're doing is wrong.
Yeah.
So people sort of just let it go, just to like fit in. And I think you need neurodivergent people in the world to actually make change.
Oh my God, yes.
But yeah.
It's so true though, because I definitely believe as a neurotypical myself that the world was created for neurotypicals. It's almost putting everyone into a box, whereas growing up with neurodivergence in a world that was never tailored to you to begin with. That's so hard to, not even if you didn't realise it at first, like you said, as you were getting older, but the idea of realising there are differences and you've had to kind of change and alter your own personality to fit into that box, that's hard. But you're just like, yeah, that's what I had to do. Almost like survival mode.
Yeah, I suppose so. I think like definitely the past couple of years, I've actually found other like finding my people, find other neurodivergent people.
Yeah.
Like I think my personality has definitely come out more. I think like I'm definitely an extrovert, but I think maybe growing up I was more introverted. Not because I'm an introvert, but because like if you put yourself out there, then obviously you've got like more chance of being judged, more chance of like everyone seeing who you are, which is a good thing.
So did you have? I know you said school was great, but how has kind of access and support services, did you ever feel like you needed to?
Growing up through school, no, not really. I had a mentor, like for like autism, like challenges I was having like socially and with my friends. And I think I was like very lucky with her. She was really, really helpful, but I didn't have to access any other like wider services.
So you've had a really fortunate, secure upbringing whilst at school. Everyone knew about you, who you are, so no one saw it as any different. And then you've made the decision to go to uni, and then actually going to uni and starting to study in your first year. Can you talk a bit more about that process and that journey?
Yeah, so I think we can break it down into like stages.
Okay.
So from like year 7 to year 11, I like had the same class, same friends, same teachers, and then I had sixth form at the same school, but people from different schools then came.
Yeah.
So then that's when I think I started to first like realise that I was different because like you'd sit in the common room and everyone would like just talk about whatever, and I'd like feel a bit left out, a bit of an outsider. And then once I moved to uni, so I had a gap year first, and I worked in a kids' home for a year with kids with autism, and I really, really enjoyed it.
Wow.
And I think I learned a bit about myself, or quite a lot about myself there as well, because obviously it's like everyone on the spectrum is very different, and they had more challenges with their communication. And then I moved to uni, and obviously it's a big change, first time living by myself. I didn't realise how much I relied on like my mum, who I sort of rely on a lot now. But living by yourself in a new city, we don't know anybody. Studying a degree, that's really, really bloody hard as it is.
Yeah.
Whilst trying to carry on with a normal life, with going to rugby, running, having a social life. It was a lot.
Spinning a lot of plates.
Yep.
So talk to me a bit about that. So, like you said, it is really hard. It was a lot, but how did that impact you?
So I moved to uni and I went to Freshers Week, and Freshers Week everyone talks to everybody.
Yeah.
And then give it a few weeks and like groups started to establish. And I remember going to a Christmas event, going ice skating, and I felt like everyone was in their groups. So I was, I'll go anyway by myself. And like I go to talk to people, but it was all very like a quick, like, hi, how are you? Oh, yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
And I felt like, how has everyone else made like good connections? Like uni's supposed to be like one of the best times of your life. Supposed to meet like your people. Like, where are my people?
Yeah. So I never thought I'd say this on the pod. How did that make you feel?
Pretty crap.
Valid.
And I think that definitely took a toll on my mental health, because like that's the first time I properly felt different to everybody else. I did generally feel like it was like the whole entire, like everybody at uni versus me.
Yeah. So when you say it took a toll on your mental health, in what way did you notice that kind of there were symptoms that aligned with a diagnosis, or was it just more of experiencing kind of waves of?
I think like I felt like quite insecure in myself, which really isn't me. And I just felt like really different, and like this is obviously the big wide world.
Yeah.
Like we've grown up and like everyone's got their groups, and then they're just like me by myself. And I felt like I wasn't doing anything wrong. I was trying to have conversations, but like nothing was really like sticking. It was all very superficial. Oh, hi, like everything's all fine and dandy. Like where's like that deeper connection? Like where are like my friends that I was supposed to make? Like where are they? It was just like me by myself.
And I get it, because you did everything by the rule book, and
Yeah.
I'm saying that with the biggest air quotes, and you're like, I've done everything I was supposed to do. I've not got the result that I'm supposed to have, because like you said, there's such an expectation, and to the point where I'd argue like elements of university is overrated. There's so much pressure, and you have to have the time of your life. You'll meet your forever people, and don't get me wrong, you do to some extent. So you're like, I've done everything I'm supposed to do by the rule book. It hasn't gone to plan. The only way you would naturally analyse and assess that is looking internally, and you naturally think, well, I'm the common denominator. I've put myself in these situations, so it must be me. Was that something that you felt for a while? Or like, did you have any coping strategies or resources that really helped you navigate that?
I think I definitely felt like I was like the common denominator. And then I had a couple of like social issues with people, and it was like me. I was like, it's obviously me. Like I'm the problem.
Yeah.
So I think I internalised it a bit, and was like, also something inside of me needs to change, and that was maybe till like Christmas until like exam period. I was very much like be me by myself. I go to lectures by myself, and like I hadn't really found a friend.
Yeah. That's so isolating. And I will stand on business in saying this. I think loneliness is one of the worst experiences a human can feel and experience, especially like studying the course that you do. It's not a small course. It's not a small degree. The fact that you were in a room full of people and still felt alone is utterly heartbreaking now knowing you. So at what point did you think, I need to kind of seek support, or was it a self-led way of getting yourself out of that kind of headspace and narrative?
So I remember going to my GP maybe like January, February time once I come back, move back to uni after Christmas, and being like, I feel like I've like become more autistic. I just need to go on some medication like for my autism.
Yeah.
Like, I just feel like my symptoms like really severe. Like I feel like I couldn't sleep, and like now I know what symptoms of depression, but because like I think due to autism, I didn't know how I was feeling. I couldn't like explain my emotion, and also I had nobody really to tell, oh, I feel this way.
Yeah.
I don't know how to. So I sort of just had these feelings inside of me, and I was like, oh, it must be like I just become more autistic.
Yeah.
I'll go to my GP, see if they can like put me on some medication for it. And I sort of got pushed away, like, oh, you're studying to be a doctor, like you live by yourself, like you're doing fine.
What? I'm sorry. Just being completely invalidated by someone in a position that you may aspire to be if you go down the GP route. Did you feel like they were projecting a bit of their own kind of experiences onto you?
I think they just assumed, oh, you're a medical student.
Yeah.
Like, you obviously got your crap together. And I hadn't had my crap together.
Yeah, plot twist.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be here for fun, my guy. Like, that ain't it. So did you find that people were associating kind of autism and depression in those kind of overlapping symptoms, that you were almost being passed around as such when accessing support, or even trying to articulate or explain how you were feeling?
So I think we need to go back a little bit.
Love this. Bring me back.
So I went to my GP, thinking, okay, my autism's got worse, but I didn't say, oh, I've got depression.
Yeah.
I didn't realise I had depression or anything. I didn't realise it was mental health related.
Yeah.
And then had like an exam period that was like really, really hard, like the first ever medical school exams. I'd had a year out, so I hadn't done any exams. I never did my GCSEs because it was in COVID. So the only like exam experience that I had was A-levels. And that was still sort of during COVID, so it was like not that much pressure, and I had a gap year planned, so it wasn't that much pressure. So that was the first time I'd actually felt proper pressure.
Wow.
In the city by myself, living by myself, trying to be an adult, whilst having all other stuff going on in my head that I wasn't aware of. And I remember I went on a rugby tour, which is very relevant because so I went for a weekend away with my friends, who were my friends at the time. And before that rugby tour, I thought, okay, I'll see how this weekend goes. And if I come back and life is still rubbish, then there's no point me being here because nothing's going to change. Like the week after, I've got exams.
Yeah.
Like it's only going down from here. But I'll see how this weekend goes, and then like make my decision.
Yeah.
Like whether I'm going to live like from that Monday. And I think because I obviously wasn't good in myself, I wasn't a very nice person that tour. And my best friend at the time was like, actually, I can't be friends with you. Like, this friendship's over, we're done. And I remember being like, oh, well, like, if she's my best friend at the time, that's like the first like proper friend that I made in like adulthood. Then if I can't be friends with her, then what's the point?
Yeah.
So I come back from rugby tour. Also, anyone who's neurodivergent will know that if you drink alcohol, it obviously like masks. Like, I think lots of people use it as a mask, but like a hangover is like 10 million times worse after 3 days of drinking and sleeping in the field. So I was on a sort of like a come down from a tour, plus or like being depressed and not realising it, and losing like my best friend because of my behaviour. I was like, well, there's nothing to live for. So I tried to speak. I tried to reach out and be like, I'm not okay. And I think because I looked okay, because I wasn't crying, I wasn't having a breakdown, I was inside. I remember saying like to my family, like, I'm not okay. And I remember them being like, oh, you're just overwhelmed, there's a lot going on. Like, go to sleep, think about it tomorrow. But what I didn't say was like, oh, I'm feeling suicidal. Like, I didn't know how bad was. So I went back to uni. And then I was like, okay, like, this is obviously it. There's no point studying for these exams. I'm not going to do them. Let's get this like, over and done with. So I tried to take my own life. And I remember texting one of my friends as like a goodbye, and like her coming around and banging on my door and being like you're not doing this. And like I was so annoyed at her. Like, why have you come round? Like, you've just like ruined. Like, it's not gonna, like, you're not helping me. I don't want to be here. And like, obviously looking back now, I'm so grateful for her, because I don't know what would have happened like if she didn't do that.
Yeah. Wow. But also just the fact that you felt there was no other option or pathway you could go down to help, that you thought dying by suicide was the only option. So you had a plan. Were you at peace with making that decision, that you were like, the idea of me not being here is actually for the best? Or was it more of a, looking back with hindsight, I didn't have the tools and the resources that could get me out of that place?
I think I was in such like got myself in such a hole. Like, the idea of suicide was such a sweet relief, and it was like an easy escape rather than having to continue. I knew I could not continue how I was.
Yeah.
Plus having to do like exams next week, and it felt like lots of pressure from like everywhere and like internally. That suicide looked like the easy option.
So what happens after that? Obviously, there's natural feelings of frustration at your friend for saving your life. Like you said, it was the easier option. It seemed like a sweet relief to be like, it's over. I don't have to suffer. I don't have to be in pain. And we also find so often, especially with young people, they say the idea of dying, like the idea of not being here versus the idea of just not experiencing and feeling the emotional and mental weight, is actually the thing that they seek for when exploring suicide. It's not the idea of not being here, it's that I just want it to stop. So what comes next?
So I spent a while in hospital, and then my family came and got me, and I sort of like went home for the weekend, and I had exams for next week, and I was like, I'm obviously not going to do my exams. Like, the only thought in my head was to like have another go at it, because nothing's going to change. And my mum was like, why don't you just do your exams? Just like, why not? It is going to give you something to do for 3 days. So I did these exams, and then I went home and I was like very closely watched by my family.
Yeah.
And I think I was still in that headspace, and I think I didn't really get out of that headspace for like the rest of the year. So that's from like May until December. And it was like every day was long. Every day was like, I feel like I've got nothing to live for. And it's just like living for like one joy, whether that's like going for a walk with your dog or just like watching telly, just like getting through hour by hour.
Yeah.
And then I somehow passed these exams, which I was grateful for, but also it meant that I've just then got to act like I've got to continue doing life.
Yeah.
As if like this major thing just hasn't happened to me. I'm supposed to just like carry on.
Yep. And did you ever have the opportunity, whether that was independently or with someone, to really process those two suicide attempts?
Not really. I think it was sort of like put on like the back burners. Like, obviously it's not a pleasant thing to talk about. Nobody wants to go to their friends and be like, oh, well, last week I tried to do this, I don't want to be like, living here. But I made it like a really big effort to like message all of the people who like truly mean something to me, and say like, I don't know how to say this. I know like you haven't got to know what to say. Like this is what I'm going through. This is what's happened.
Yep.
And actually, all of my friends like helped me so much. Even if it's just like going for a drive, or like going to McDonald's drive-through, or just like having a chat, or just like being there and being like, I don't know what to say, but like I'm here for you.
Yeah.
And I think it definitely proved to me like who like my true friends are, and I've actually got some really, really like key people. Actually, I felt so alone like the month before, but yes, I still feel in exactly the same headspace. But actually, I've got like 5 really good friends around me that like want me to continue living.
Yeah. Almost those kind of sparkles in the darkness as such, knowing that I am still in this headspace, but there are those glimmers and those kind of lights that we do kind of latch onto and use as our kind of why to continue. And sometimes people say like it's so hard fighting for themselves, it's easier to fight for someone else, and kind of use that as a motivation to carry on. So what happens then?
So then once I got to Charlton Hospital, I was given this booklet of numbers and basically like, don't do it again, which obviously was not helpful at the time. So anyway, I got given this booklet, and I also got given a follow-up the next day via call. I just got a call being like, how are you? Like, basically, you're still alive. And it probably lasted about 20 seconds, and I was like, well, yeah, I'm at home, I'm basically doing nothing, and that was it. So I sort of spent that summer obviously trying to survive, but trying to set some things up. So like I registered for talking therapy, and then I had a look on the App Store, and I think I like saw this app called Hidden Strength.
Oh, come on now.
Yeah. Okay, name drop. And I was like, well, I've tried everything, I might as well give it a go. And I think it was very, very new, and I saw between like 7 and 9 p.m. you click on this thing called Life Ring.
Yeah.
And I think it probably took me a week to like click on it. And I thought, I've got, like, I might as well let me try all the options.
Yep.
And then I spoke to this person called Amy.
Oh, who's she?
Yeah. And I finally felt like somebody actually cared. Like somebody actually wanted to help me. Like this person who I've never met, who I'm texting, who I don't know anything about, who knows nothing about me. I just like spilled like everything in my head into.
Yeah.
And she's actually been like, okay, we can sort this, rather than just, oh, let's forget about it, let's like shove it in the back corner.
I mean, yeah, it's wild. I remember as soon as you put an emoji in, and then I responded with an emoji, it was almost like I got the seal of approval from you to be like, I like the vibe, I like the energy, let's keep talking. And like, we were speaking about this, that I had confronted you when you were talking about your experiences and actually said suicide, and you, and I may get this wrong, but it was like, not the scary S word.
The scary S word.
And like, look at you now, literally not even 12 months later, here talking about your experiences. But the idea of, I don't know if my eye rolls will be caught on camera. If so, I'll stand on it, because that's baffling. But also, services would be aware that you're autistic, and the idea of someone phoning you or be given a directory of resources that aren't tailored to kind of your needs, the likelihood of you calling up someone or like engaging with something brand new without knowing much about it, I'm going to make a generalization here, but the odds are quite low.
Yeah.
Not very accessible, not very inclusive.
Yeah. And on that, obviously I didn't know how I was feeling. So I'd have to identify how I'm feeling and then call somebody. I don't really like calling people.
Yeah.
Somebody who I don't even know, and say, I feel X, Y, and Z, these emotions that I can't identify.
Yeah.
Like, how do you expect like anyone to do that? Bear in mind, anyone who's neurodivergent.
Yeah. So what needs to change? Of course, we've got the app, and we wholeheartedly, and it was something I was so passionate about, it had to be accessible, it had to be inclusive, because one size fits no one when it comes to mental health. But we're just an app in that sense, and we're only available for 13 to 24-year-olds. There are obviously a much bigger population around that specific demographic that need that support. What do services and more traditional kind of ways of support need to do to be more accessible?
I think it's really helpful having not phone calls, so like text, so services like Shout or you guys on your Life Ring, or I think you can like email Samaritans, because being able to take the time to, I'm not quite sure what I want to say,
Yeah.
but at least I can think about it rather than feel pressured to say, oh no, I'm fine, whilst you're on the phone.
Yeah.
And also time to process what someone else has said rather than just quickly answering like what you think they want to hear rather than what actually is going on inside. And I think what's helped me is maybe I can't identify what emotion I'm feeling, but one of my mentors actually helped me do this, was I can't say, oh, I feel depressed or I feel like, I can't even think of an emotion to explain it. It's like send an emoji or like send a rating, like anything that can communicate how you're feeling. Like send a phrase, like whatever that is for you. So like I know for me sometimes, like if it's a colour, like say that, or an emoji, or I'm feeling sort of like half sad, half not, and almost create your own language, because the English words that you need are not naturally in your brain.
Yeah. I get that. That's why I'm all for emojis on the app.
Yeah.
I'm like, send them all. It can be that buffer. It can be that icebreaker. And how especially young people communicate and using that as their own language is a complete game changer to kind of pinpoint and know, okay, I know exactly how we can process or unpack or maybe just explain things a bit more. But you're at uni, third year, incredible times. What a story, what a journey you've had so far. Obviously, the end goal for you, once you graduate, is becoming a doctor.
Yeah.
How's your experiences kind of whilst at uni? How is that going to shape or impact the way that you move forward professionally in your career?
I think overall as a person, like the past year and a half, we've been on this recovery journey, and obviously now I'm in such a better place. I've got an even better support system around me. Like I've made some really good friends at uni as well.
Yeah.
And I think how that's gonna change me as a doctor and as a person is that I've become like so much more empathetic, so much more in touch with my emotions and other people's. And I think there's like such a stereotype that autistic people obviously can't feel empathy, like double empathy problem. Like neurotypical say, oh, people with autism can't feel empathy. Actually, obviously we can. And I think I've become such a different person, which I'm so grateful for. And I think I've become such a better doctor for it. And I'm not quite sure what I want to specialise in, but I know that I'm interested in psychiatry. And people help the people. So, yeah.
I love that. We need more people like you making that change, and you know exactly the impact those decisions and those changes and those interactions will have on those that need it most. And obviously on this recovery journey, you hinted a little bit earlier about running. And of course, you're coming back to Cardiff in October to run the Cardiff Half as a fundraiser for Hidden Strength, which I'm so incredibly grateful for you doing. Can you talk a little bit more about what led you to that decision?
Yes, so obviously I've mentioned that I downloaded your app and spoke to you on the Life Ring, and that was like the first domino in my recovery. You were the first person who actually, I felt like, wanted to help me. And obviously I'm going to be forever grateful for you for that. And obviously since I've been on that journey, I've found some really good therapists, some really good mentors who have like helped me to continue. So I thought I need to give back to you guys, and running's something that's already really important in my life. I think going for a run is like free therapy.
Yeah.
Like just go for a run, listen to music, be in your own world, and like everything else pauses. Like the most important thing is your run or your heart rate or your pace, rather than everything else that's going on in your life. So I thought I already love running, and I love you guys. So put it together and fundraise for you.
And I couldn't be more grateful, honestly, not just for that and for fundraising. Of course, if Lindsay was here, she would probably be in tears thanking you as well. But just the fact that you've come here, you're willing to share your story and sharing that kind of step by step, and how those steps don't consecutively have to go upwards. You can go back down, you can go back up. I am so utterly grateful, not only for you deciding to download the app and speaking to me to begin with, but how you've kind of grown not only in confidence, but also in that greater awareness and sense of self. And now you want to kind of use that and share it with a lot more people. So I can't thank you enough. But before we do go, if people watching or listening to this podcast can only take away one thing from the episode, what should that be?
I think it's Ali Bromley from Big Brother said, that you can't be what you can't see. And me talking and showing my experience, yeah, it was hard. And I've had to reflect on a lot. But if it's helped one person and one person's felt seen, then I feel like it's worth it. And I think also just being really open, and like, if you're not okay, then telling somebody, and yeah, they might not know what to say, but it's so much, it's worth it. It's like worth the slight uncomfortable, like to be able to like carry on with life and like, yeah.
Yeah, power and vulnerability.
Yeah.
It's the one thing that connects most people together without them even realising. Thank you so much. You did it.
Thank you for having me.
Woohoo!
Thank you so much for watching today.
If you feel like you need additional support after the podcast, we've linked resources below.
Please like, share, subscribe, whatever you're listening to us on today.
And download our Hidden Strength app.